The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were a newly debuted war tactic that sought to end World War II. They were not only the first atomic bombs used for warfare, but also caused the greatest amount of casualties from a single military weapon. This operation ultimately transcended the capabilities of military weapons, manipulated our foreign relations, and in the long term, modernized the world politically, economically, and geographically. The development of the atomic bomb is arguably the most destructive device made by man. It was just a thought in the mind of millions of scientists, and the U.S. was about to make it a reality. During World War II, the United States decided to stay out of conflict till the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Thus, the United States entered World War II with a rage. Immediately, the United States began working on an atomic bomb, which Albert Einstein suggested to the president in a letter 2 years prior. The United States scientists began to work on the atomic bomb, while the military generals began to discuss where they were going to unleash this destructive power. Other countries were racing to beat the United States to the development of the bomb. Nazi Germany and Japan were both trying to develop the bomb, while the British teamed up with the United States in developing the bomb. The United States scientists came up with a prototype that they thought was ready to be tested. The President approved it, and the team of scientists and military generals went out to the deserts of Nevada to test it. The first test was conducted near Alamogordo, New Mexico, July 16, 1945, which is known as the Manhattan Project and was given the codename Trinity. The test had a yield of approximately 20 kilotons of TNT. By August 1945, the Allies' Manhattan Project had produced 2 types of atomic bomb, and the 509th Composite Group of the United States Army Air Forces was equipped with the specialized silver plate version of the Boeing 529 Super Fortress that would deliver them from Tinian in the Mariana Islands. At 8:16 a.m. Japanese time, an American B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, dropped the world's first atomic bomb, Little Boy, over the city of Hiroshima.
Many people were just going to work as usual when the atomic bomb hit and changed the world forever. 88% of who were at least 1,500 feet from the initial blast died instantly. Of the 350,000 residents, 130,000 were killed on the first day. The survivors died slowly from either burns or radiation sickness. The hair would fall out and their flesh would slide off their bodies. The city was a pile of debris, and there were no emergency crews to help the innocent people. Admiral Seimu Toyota, the chief of Naval General Staff, estimated that no more than 1 or 2 additional bombs could be readied, so they decided to endure the remaining attacks, acknowledging there would be more destruction, but the war would go on. Their mantra of fighting to the death still empowered the Japanese to keep fighting.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped 1 bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold, and the end is not yet. With this bomb, we have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction to supplement the growing power of our armed forces. In their present form, these bombs are now in production, and even more powerful forms are in development. It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe. The force from which the sun draws its power has been loosed against those who brought war to the Far East.
Luckily, the U.S. had already made a second bomb, Fat Man, and released it on another military city, Nagasaki. It was devastated. 80,000 more people died, bringing the death toll to over 200,000. Japan would have no choice but to surrender, and 6 days after Nagasaki, Emperor Hirohito of Japan released this statement. But now the war has lasted for nearly 4 years. Despite the best that has been done by everyone, the gallant fighting of our military and naval forces, the diligence and assiduity of our servants of the state, and the devoted service of our 100 million people, the war situation has developed not necessarily to Japan's advantage, while the general trends of the world have turned all against her interest. Moreover, the enemy has begun to employ a new and most cruel bomb, the power of which to do damage is, indeed, incalculable, taking the toll of many innocent lives. Should we continue to fight, it would not only result in an ultimate collapse and obliteration of the Japanese nation, but it would also lead to the total extinction of human civilization. The war was finally over.
How does this event relate to conflict and compromise? How would a plutonium bomb act as a peacemaker for a raging conflict? These bombs ended a world war and helped elevate our reputation as a supreme power. The world would not be the way it is today if we had not put all those innocent lives at risk. If it was not for President Truman's decision, we may be standing in a nuclear wasteland right now, or we might be extinct. Even though this event spiked much controversy, it has made our world better in the long run. This investment has led to the advancement of warfare machinery and a period of growth and prosperity in the United States. In this modern age, Japan is ironically one of our main allies in terms of production of nuclear warfare. Many other countries are still using the tactic of an end-all destructive force to seize conflict. Countries like Russia, North Korea, China, France, India, Pakistan, Germany, Great Britain, Belgium, Italy, Israel, Belarus, Kazakhstan, South Africa, and Ukraine are now, or formerly, were testing and designing different types of nuclear weapons. However, the memory of this tragic event also shows the amount of devastation nuclear weapons can cause. The grueling looks of those who survived are no longer enough to convey the idea of what is moral and what is just plain cruel. The memories of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are fading away. These bombings have set a foundation for all military tactics that are used or going to be used in the future. Even though these bombings killed many, they prevented even more lives from being taken away, especially those of our own family members. Without the use of force, the world would never be the same.